Today, we're digging into one of the most incredible stories ever told. A story about divine justice, powerful faith, and the absolute audacity of one man who decides to stand up and actually argue with God.
I mean, seriously, how do you even do that? It sounds impossible, right? Maybe even a little bit forbidden. But that's the central question, the real dramatic core of the story we're about to get into. So let's dive in. So, our story doesn't kick off with thunder or lightning or some big spectacle, nope. It starts on a quiet, sweltering hot day in the plains of Mamre. It's just a totally ordinary moment that's about to become an absolutely world-changing encounter. So picture this. Abraham is just sitting at the entrance to his tent, trying to stay cool, when he looks up and sees three men. And he doesn't wait. He doesn't hesitate for a second. The text says he runs to meet them. He immediately gets that this is not your average visit. And what he does next is just wow. We're talking about radical hospitality. This is way more than just offering someone a glass of water. He runs, he bows down, he insists they stay, he rushes to Sarah to get her to make bread, he runs to the herd to pick out the best calf, and he serves them this huge feast himself. The man is all in. And it's this incredible act of welcome that sets the stage for the first of two bombshells. The small talk is over, and the conversation suddenly pivots to a completely life-altering promise. One of the visitors, who we now realize is the Lord, makes this unbelievable announcement. Now you gotta remember, Abraham and Sarah are old. The Bible says they are well stricken in age. So from a purely human standpoint, this isn't just unlikely, it's completely impossible. And Sarah's reaction? It is so perfectly, painfully human. She's inside the tent, she overhears this whole thing, and she laughs. But it's not a laugh of joy, you know? It's that cynical, tired laugh of someone who gave up hope on that dream a long, long time ago. But here's the kicker. Her private, silent laugh gets called out. The Lord asks Abraham why she laughed, and just like that, her inner doubt becomes this public challenge. The question just hangs there in the hot air. Is there anything too hard for the Lord? It's this massive moment, a direct face-off between human experience and divine power. And right when we're trying to wrap our heads around this intense personal drama, the whole story zooms way out. The focus shifts, and I mean dramatically, from the promise of one new life to the destruction of thousands. The Lord decides to let Abraham in on what he's about to do. He says the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is so great, their sin so bad, that he's going down to check it out. And by sharing this with Abraham, he sets the stage for him to go from being a humble host to a truly bold advocate. And now we get to the main event. What happens next is one of the most remarkable dialogues in all of literature. This is where a mortal man stands his ground and starts to bargain with God. And check out Abraham's strategy. It's brilliant. He doesn't just beg for mercy. He makes a legal and ethical argument. He appeals to God's own nature. He's basically asking, hey, hold on, would the judge of the entire earth really do something unjust like wiping out the innocent with the guilty? So he makes his opening offer, 50. Abraham asks if God would spare the whole city for just 50 righteous people. It's a bold start, and God immediately agrees. What's so amazing here is the contrast. His words are so humble. He calls himself but dust and ashes. But his actions, they're anything but. He's courageous, he's persistent, and he just keeps pushing the issue. But Abraham isn't done. Not by a long shot. He immediately presses on. Okay, but what if you only find 45, he asks. And again, God says yes. So he keeps going. 40. You can start to feel a rhythm building here, as he just keeps testing the limits of mercy. The tension is definitely rising. Then down to 30. It seems like with every yes he gets from God, Abraham gets even bolder. He's in the middle of this high-stakes negotiation for people he doesn't even know. 20. I mean, just think about the sheer audacity. He is systematically talking down a divine judgment, arguing that just a handful of good people should be enough to save everyone. And here it is, his final push. You can almost feel his hesitation mixed with his determination. He knows he's pushing his luck, but he has to ask one last time. 10. This is it, the final number. He started at 50, and he has bargained God all the way down to just 10 righteous people. Just 10. Would God destroy the city if only 10 could be found? And God agrees. For the sake of just 10 people, the city would be saved. And then, just like that, the conversation ends. The Lord leaves, and the fate of thousands is left hanging on this one tiny number. So,
after that unbelievable negotiation, we're left to think, right? What is the deeper meaning here? What is this story really trying to tell us about justice and about worth?
There's a reason this story has resonated for millennia. It's packed with huge ideas. It shows us that simple kindness can open the door to the divine. It tells us that our doubts are a real part of faith. But most importantly, it shows that one person's courage, one person standing up for what's right, can have cosmic consequences. It proves that even a few good people have immeasurable value.
And all of that leaves us with this one last big thought. Abraham haggled God down from 50 to 10. He took a huge moral principle and turned it into a math problem. So the question this ancient story leaves for us to wrestle with is this: is justice a number